The discovery. Back on Earth, in a high-tech laboratory nestled beneath the sprawling city of New York, Alex and his team of scientists were hard at work. The atmosphere was electric with excitement and anxiety. The recent council meeting still weighed heavily on Alex's mind, but he knew they had a mission to complete. They had to find the source of the mysterious energy pulse that had interrupted the council and proven humanity's worth. The lab was filled with glowing screens and complex machinery. Engineers were typing furiously, analyzing data from the council's sensors. Holographic displays floated in the air, showing charts and graphs that flickered with activity. The team included Dr. Lena, a brilliant physicist, and Tom, a skilled engineer, both of whom had dedicated their lives to exploring the unknown. "Alex, look at this," Dr. Lena exclaimed, pointing to a screen that displayed a series of unusual energy readings. "These spikes in energy coincide with the pulse we detected during the council meeting. It seems to originate from a location deep within the Earth's crust." "Can you pinpoint the exact location?" Alex asked, feeling a surge of adrenaline. This could be the key to understanding the mysteries of humanity's past. Tom leaned closer to the screen. "Yes, it looks like it's coming from an ancient cave system in the Himalayas. The readings are unlike anything we've ever seen before." Alex's heart raced with excitement. "Then we need to go there. We can't let the council think we are just a joke anymore. If there's something hidden in that cave, it could change everything." The team prepared for the expedition. They gathered equipment and loaded it into a sleek, advanced transport ship. As they boarded, Alex felt a mix of determination and anxiety. This was their chance to prove themselves, not just to the council, but to the entire galaxy. The ship soared into the sky, piercing through the clouds, and headed toward the Himalayas. Alex stood at the front, gazing out at the breathtaking landscape below. The mountains stretched endlessly, majestic and intimidating. Deep within their folds lay secrets waiting to be uncovered. After hours of flying, the ship landed near the entrance of the cave. A massive rock face loomed ahead, and an ancient symbol adorned its entrance, one that had been lost to history. The symbol resembled a spiral, twisting inward, inviting them to explore the mysteries within. As they stepped out of the ship, the air felt different, charged with energy. The entrance was dark, and the sounds of dripping water echoed in the distance. Alex turned on his flashlight, illuminating the path ahead. "Stay close, everyone," he said, feeling the weight of responsibility. They ventured into the cave, their footsteps echoing off the stone walls. The deeper they went, the more the energy surged around them. Strange markings covered the walls, glowing faintly as they moved closer. It was as if the cave itself was alive, breathing with the energy of the past. "Look at these markings," Dr. Lena whispered, tracing her fingers along the ancient symbols. "They appear to be a record of human history, but unlike anything we've ever seen." Alex's eyes widened as he studied the symbols. They depicted scenes of humans interacting with alien species, sharing knowledge and technology. The images told a story of cooperation and unity, of humans as pioneers in a universe that had once embraced them. "This is incredible," Tom exclaimed. "It looks like our ancestors had connections with other species long before we ever knew." Suddenly, the energy pulsed more intensely, and the ground beneath them shook. "What's happening?" Alex shouted, trying to keep his balance. The walls of the cave began to glow brighter, illuminating the entire chamber. Without warning, a hidden door slid open at the far end of the cave, revealing a massive ship, ancient yet magnificent. The ship's surface shimmered like liquid metal, pulsating with the same energy they had been tracking. It was clear this was no ordinary vessel. It was a relic of humanity's forgotten past. Alex's heart raced with excitement and disbelief. "This is it. This is our hidden ship." He stepped forward, drawn to the vessel's brilliance. "We need to get inside." The team approached cautiously, awestruck by the sheer size of the ship. "But how do we even enter?" Dr. Lena wondered, scanning the surface for a way in. As if sensing their presence, a section of the ship began to shift, revealing a sleek entrance. The energy surged once more, pulling them closer. "This ship is alive," Tom whispered, his eyes wide. "It wants us to come inside." The mockery begins. In a grand chamber on the Galactic Council's flagship, representatives from various alien species gathered to discuss the fate of Earth. The walls shimmered with holographic displays, showing images of distant planets and stars. The room buzzed with excitement and curiosity as delegates from the Orion, Vecthar, and Xylox species took their seats. At the center of this gathering stood Alex, a human envoy representing Earth. His heart raced as he prepared to defend his planet against the harsh words of the Council. The aliens had gathered to discuss the recent events surrounding humanity, events that painted Earth in a negative light. The Council leader, a tall Orion with shimmering blue skin and glowing eyes, addressed the assembly. "Today, we discuss the weaknesses of Earth. Despite their advanced technology, humans continue to make foolish mistakes," he said, his voice echoing in the vast chamber. Laughter erupted among the delegates. A Vecthar, with its reptilian features and sharp claws, pointed at a hologram of a human space mission gone wrong. "Look at this. They lost a whole fleet in a simple maneuver. How can we take them seriously?" he sneered. Alex clenched his fists, feeling anger boil inside him. He had known about the mistakes humanity had made, but they were learning and improving. Yet here they were, being ridiculed by those who had once been their allies. "We all make mistakes," he interjected, trying to keep his voice steady. "We learn from them. Isn't that the essence of progress?" The laughter grew louder, drowning out his words. A Xylox, covered in shimmering scales, leaned forward, its eyes narrowing. "Progress? You call this progress? Humans are a myth, a legend. Nothing more than a footnote in galactic history," it said, its voice dripping with contempt. Alex's heart sank. He felt alone in the midst of the ridicule. It was clear the Council had no respect for humanity. The laughter echoed in his mind, drowning out his resolve. As the discussion continued, Alex listened intently. They spoke of Earth's failures, focusing on how humanity had stumbled in its attempts to reach the stars. Each failure was met with laughter, and the mockery felt like daggers piercing his heart. He wanted to scream, to show them the resilience and creativity that humans possessed. Suddenly, a strange pulse of energy surged through the room, causing the holograms to flicker. The delegates stopped their laughter and looked around in confusion. What was that? The Orion leader demanded, his voice laced with unease. "I don't know," Alex replied, a sense of dread creeping over him. The energy pulse felt familiar, but he couldn't place it. He glanced at the screens displaying Earth, now flashing erratically. It was as if the planet itself was trying to send a message. The council members began to murmur amongst themselves, concern replacing their previous mirth. Alex felt a spark of hope. Perhaps this was an opportunity to prove them wrong. "This might be a sign," he said, standing tall. "If we work together, we can uncover what this means. Humans have always had a knack for finding solutions." The Orion leader raised an eyebrow, clearly unimpressed. "And why should we trust you? Your kind has shown nothing but incompetence," he retorted, crossing his arms. "Because," Alex replied, his voice firm, "we've also shown determination and ingenuity. If you give us a chance, we can surprise you." The room fell silent as the delegates exchanged glances. They were not convinced, and the laughter faded into the background, replaced by a growing tension. Suddenly, the screens flickered one last time before going dark. The chamber was plunged into an eerie silence. Then, from the depths of the darkness, a voice echoed, resonating with power. "Humans are more than a legend. They are about to reveal their hidden strength." The delegates gasped, fear replacing their earlier mockery. Alex felt a rush of adrenaline. This was it, the moment he had been waiting for. The energy pulse had transformed the atmosphere, and now the council was on edge. They had underestimated humanity for too long. Alex nodded, taking a deep breath. Let's see what secrets it holds. With that, they stepped inside, entering a realm of technology beyond their wildest dreams. The interior was filled with glowing panels and strange machinery. Holographic displays lit up, showing maps of the galaxy and schematics of advanced technologies. Alex felt a wave of understanding wash over him. This was not just a ship, it was a treasure trove of knowledge. Suddenly, the ship hummed to life, and a soft voice echoed through the chamber. Welcome, descendants of Earth. You have awakened me from a long slumber. Together, we will reveal the hidden truths of your past. The team exchanged excited glances. This was the moment they had been waiting for. The chance to uncover the mysteries of humanity and to reclaim their place in the universe. With renewed determination, Alex stepped forward. We're ready to learn. Let's discover who we really are. As the ship's systems activated, a new adventure began. The hidden truths of humanity were about to be unveiled, and the galaxy would soon learn that humans were more than just a force to be reckoned with. Awakening the legacy. As the ship's systems came to life, the soft voice echoed in the chamber, resonating with an ancient authority. Welcome, descendants of Earth. I am the guardian of the legacy. You have awakened me from a long slumber. Together, we will reveal the hidden truths of your past. Alex felt a shiver run down his spine. The weight of history hung in the air, and he knew they stood at the edge of something monumental. Guardian, what do you mean by the hidden truths of our past? He asked, his voice filled with curiosity. The history of humanity is vast and complex, the Guardian replied. For centuries, you have been forgotten, reduced to mere legends in the eyes of the universe. But you were once explorers and pioneers, engaged in a great cosmic dance with other civilizations. The ship's interior glowed brighter, displaying holographic images that floated around them. Alex and his team watched in awe as scenes of ancient human interactions with alien species unfolded. They saw humans sharing knowledge, technology, and cultures with beings from far-off worlds. This is incredible, Dr. Lena whispered, mesmerized by the images. We were not alone. We had connections. Yes, the Guardian continued, but as time passed, the knowledge faded, and humanity turned inward. Isolationism became your fate. The universe has changed, and many now regard you with suspicion and ridicule. You must reclaim your legacy. Tom, with wide eyes, said, How can we do that? We don't even know where to start. The Guardian's voice was soothing. You have already taken the first step by awakening the ship. It holds the key to your past and the path to your future. To truly understand your place in the cosmos, you must explore the depths of your history and restore the bonds you once had. Alex nodded, feeling a sense of urgency. What do we need to do? The ship is equipped with technology that can help you access historical records scattered throughout the galaxy, the Guardian explained. Your first task is to travel to the ruins of Zorith, an ancient site where humans once forged alliances. There you will find the records of your ancestors and learn how to reconnect with the cosmos. Where are the ruins of Zorith? Lena asked, her excitement bubbling. They are located in a distant system, beyond the reach of most modern ships, the Guardian replied. But this vessel can traverse the dimensions. It will take you there. With determination, Alex turned to his team. We have to go there. This is our chance to prove ourselves and show the galaxy that we are more than just a joke. We are capable of greatness. The ship hummed in response, as if in agreement. With a flick of a control panel, holographic star maps appeared, detailing their route to the ruins of Zorith. The landscape of stars stretched before them, filled with wonder and potential. As the ship began its journey, the team strapped into their seats, anticipation building within them. I can't believe this is happening, Tom said, his voice full of awe. We're going to discover who we truly are. The ship's engines roared to life, and they felt the powerful thrust as it launched into the void of space. They shot through the dimensions, the stars becoming streaks of light as they accelerated beyond normal speeds. It was a thrilling sensation, one that made Alex feel alive. After what felt like moments, but was likely hours, the ship slowed, entering a vibrant and pulsating star system. As they emerged from the dimensional tunnel, a breathtaking view greeted them. A swirling nebula painted in brilliant colors, with the ruins of Zoreth visible on a nearby planet. "There it is," Lena shouted, pointing at the surface of the vibrant planet. Ruins of towering structures rose from the ground, hinting at an ancient civilization that once thrived. "We're finally here." The ship descended, landing softly on the surface. Alex felt a rush of excitement as they disembarked, stepping onto the ground that had witnessed the history of their ancestors. The air was thick with the scent of ancient stone and the promise of discovery. They walked toward the ruins, their hearts pounding in unison. The structures were magnificent, with intricate carvings and symbols that told stories of alliances and unity. It was clear that this place was a sacred site for humanity. "Look at this," Tom exclaimed, pointing to a large stone tablet covered in strange markings. "If we can decipher this, it might hold the key to what happened here." As they gathered around the tablet, the Guardian's voice resonated in their minds. "To unlock the past, you must approach it with an open heart and mind. Focus on the markings and let the legacy speak to you." Alex placed his hand on the tablet, feeling a warm energy pulse through him. As he concentrated, the markings began to glow, revealing their meanings. Images flashed before his eyes. Visions of humans working alongside alien species, crafting technologies and forming bonds that transcended time and space. "This is incredible," Lena gasped. "They were pioneers of peace and cooperation." "Exactly," the Guardian affirmed. "But this legacy is not just about the past. It is a call to action for the future. You must continue what your ancestors started." As the visions faded, Alex knew that they were standing at a crossroads. The truth of humanity's history was now within their grasp, and they had the power to reclaim their place in the universe. "Let's gather as much information as we can," Alex said, determination in his voice. "We need to understand our past so we can face the future." With that, the team set to work, examining the ruins, deciphering the ancient language, and uncovering the wisdom left behind. Each discovery filled them with purpose, and with each piece of knowledge, they were reminded of the incredible potential humanity held. They were ready to awaken the legacy, and together, they would forge a new path for their people, a path that would take them beyond the stars and into the heart of the cosmos. Secrets of the Ancients. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the ruins of Zoreth, the team worked tirelessly. Alex, Lena, and Tom were surrounded by stone walls adorned with intricate carvings. Each symbol told a story, a forgotten tale of humanity's glory. The energy in the air was palpable, and they knew they were on the brink of discovering something monumental. Alex stepped back from the tablet, his mind racing with thoughts. What if this isn't just about our past? What if it's also about our future? He pondered aloud. "Exactly," Lena replied, her eyes shining with excitement. "These ruins could hold the key to not only who we were, but who we can become." "Let's focus on the carvings," Tom suggested, pointing to a wall covered in elaborate designs. "They seem to depict gatherings, celebrations, and even battles. It looks like they tell us about the alliances we once had." The Guardian's voice filled the chamber, guiding them. Each carving represents a moment in time, a connection between humans and other species. These stories must be understood and respected. They are the threads that bind you to the cosmos. As Alex and his friends examined the wall, a particular scene caught Lena's attention. "Look here. It shows humans shaking hands with various alien species," she said, tracing her fingers over the carvings. "And see this. There's a symbol that looks like a ship." "Maybe it represents the ships we once used for travel," Tom speculated, excitement bubbling in his voice. If we could find out how they worked, we might be able to improve our own technology, or discover new technologies altogether. Alex added, his mind racing with possibilities. We need to understand the legacy left behind if we want to build new alliances. They spent hours deciphering the carvings, taking notes, and discussing their findings. As the night deepened, a sense of urgency began to grow within them. They had to uncover everything the ruins had to offer before returning to the stars. Suddenly, a soft glow emerged from the center of the ruins, capturing their attention. They turned to see a large stone pedestal surrounded by swirling energy. The guardian spoke again, this time with a sense of gravity. Approach the pedestal. It is a repository of knowledge, a gateway to the past. With cautious steps, they moved closer, their hearts pounding. The pedestal shimmered, and as they reached it, the air filled with the scent of ancient wood and metal. "What do we do?" Tom asked, his voice barely above a whisper. "Place your hands on the surface," the guardian instructed. "Open your minds to the history it holds." As they did, a surge of energy flowed through them. Images flooded their minds, flashes of long-lost cities, bustling with life. Humans trading with alien merchants, scientists collaborating to create technologies that could traverse the stars. They saw the creation of ships that could travel between dimensions, ships powered by the very energy of the universe. Tears welled in Lena's eyes. "We were never just a legend. We were pioneers." "Now we understand the ridicule," Alex said, his voice shaking. They laughed because they didn't know the truth. They didn't know how powerful we once were. Suddenly, the visions changed. They witnessed dark times too. The isolation that had crept into humanity's heart. The wars fought over territory, and the loss of connections with other worlds. The images grew chaotic, filled with tension and fear. They turned away from unity. Tom breathed, feeling the weight of sorrow in the room. "And we paid the price." The guardian's voice soothed them. "But every ending is a new beginning. You have the opportunity to change the narrative. Use this knowledge to forge a new path, one that embraces cooperation and understanding." As the vision subsided, Alex felt a renewed sense of purpose. "We need to bring this knowledge back to Earth. We must show everyone the truth and remind them of our legacy." "Absolutely," Lena agreed, her determination clear. "We can't let history repeat itself. We need to be a part of the galaxy again." Tom nodded, his eyes bright with excitement. "Let's gather as much information as we can. We need to document everything." With that, they began to take notes, sketching out the symbols they had seen and recalling the images that filled their minds. Hours passed, and fatigue began to set in, but the fire of their mission burned brightly within them. As dawn broke over the ruins, illuminating the structures with golden light, they finished their work. They stood together, taking in the majesty of the ancient site, knowing they had uncovered the truth about their heritage. "Today, we honor our ancestors," Alex said, feeling a deep connection to the past. "And tomorrow, we reclaim our place in the stars." With hearts full of hope and determination, they prepared to leave the ruins of Zoreth, their minds buzzing with ideas. They were not just going back to Earth. They were returning as ambassadors of their legacy. Together, they would bridge the gap between the past and the future, revealing the hidden truth of humanity and embracing their destiny among the stars. "Place your hands on the surface," the guardian instructed. "Open your minds to the history it holds." As they did, a surge of energy flowed through them. Images flooded their minds, flashes of long-lost cities, bustling with life. Humans trading with alien merchants, scientists collaborating to create technologies that could traverse the stars. They saw the creation of ships that could travel between dimensions, ships powered by the very energy of the universe. Tears welled in Lena's eyes. "We were never just a legend. We were pioneers." "Now we understand the ridicule," Alex said, his voice shaking. They laughed because they didn't know the truth. They didn't know how powerful we once were. Suddenly, The visions changed. They witnessed dark times too, the isolation that had crept into humanity's heart, the wars fought over territory, and the loss of connections with other worlds. The images grew chaotic, filled with tension and fear. They turned away from unity. Tom breathed, feeling the weight of sorrow in the room. And we paid the price. The Guardian's voice soothed them. But every ending is a new beginning. You have the opportunity to change the narrative. Use this knowledge to forge a new path, one that embraces cooperation and understanding. As the vision subsided, Alex felt a renewed sense of purpose. We need to bring this knowledge back to Earth. We must show everyone the truth and remind them of our legacy. Absolutely, Lena agreed, her determination clear. We can't let history repeat itself. We need to be a part of the galaxy again. Tom nodded, his eyes bright with excitement. Let's gather as much information as we can. We need to document everything. With that, they began to take notes, sketching out the symbols they had seen and recalling the images that filled their minds. Hours passed, and fatigue began to set in, but the fire of their mission burned brightly within them. As dawn broke over the ruins, illuminating the structures with golden light, they finished their work. They stood together, taking in the majesty of the ancient site, knowing they had uncovered the truth about their heritage. Today, we honor our ancestors, Alex said, feeling a deep connection to the past. And tomorrow, we reclaim our place in the stars. With hearts full of hope and determination, they prepared to leave the ruins of Zoreth, their minds buzzing with ideas. They were not just going back to Earth. They were returning as ambassadors of their legacy. Together, they would bridge the gap between the past and the future, revealing the hidden truth of humanity and embracing their destiny among the stars. The return to Earth. As the sun rose high in the sky, Alex, Lena, and Tom stood at the edge of the ruins of Zoreth. The last remnants of the ancient knowledge still lingered in their minds, and their hearts were filled with excitement and purpose. They knew they had to return to Earth with what they had learned, but they also understood that the journey ahead would not be easy. Are we ready for this? Lena asked, looking at her friends with a mix of hope and uncertainty. We have to convince everyone that we are more than just a joke. Tom nodded, determination in his eyes. We've seen the truth. We can't let anyone else dismiss us. We have to show them what we've discovered and remind them of who we are. Alex took a deep breath, feeling the weight of their mission. Let's gather everything we need. We have a legacy to reclaim. They made their way back to their ship, navigating through the lush forests surrounding the ruins. The vibrant colors of the trees and flowers seemed to cheer them on, as if the universe itself was supporting their cause. Upon reaching the ship, they quickly organized their findings. The energy of the ancient pedestal still flowed through them, guiding their every move. Once everything was packed, Alex took the pilot's seat. Strapping in, he called out, as Lena and Tom secured themselves in their chairs. As the ship lifted off, the familiar hum of the engines filled the cabin. They felt the thrill of leaving the ancient world behind, but their thoughts were focused on what lay ahead. Let's run through what we need to do when we get back, Lena suggested, her voice steady. We need to gather scientists, historians, and leaders. They must see the carvings and the technology we found. It's crucial they understand the importance of our history. Agreed, Tom said. We should also prepare a presentation. We can't just show them the findings. We need to tell a story, our story, one that emphasizes unity and collaboration. Right, Alex added. And we need to find a way to share the technology we've learned about. The ships, the energy sources, everything we can offer to help rebuild connections with other species. As they plotted their course back to Earth, the ship glided through the stars, each passing moment filling them with excitement and nervousness. After what felt like an eternity, the blue and green globe of Earth came into view, and a wave of emotions washed over them. There it is, Lena whispered, awestruck. Home. Let's make sure it's still our home, Tom replied, his voice laced with determination. "We have to be the voice of change." When they landed, the familiar sights and sounds of their world enveloped them. They quickly exited the ship and made their way toward the nearest city, eager to share their discoveries. "First stop, the Science Museum," Alex announced, leading the way. "They'll have the resources we need to gather experts." The trio made their way through the bustling streets, where people moved with their heads down, absorbed in their own worlds. As they entered the museum, the bright lights and vibrant displays greeted them. But Alex noticed something troubling. The people around them were still unaware of the incredible truth waiting to be unveiled. They approached the information desk, where a young woman greeted them. "How can I help you today?" "We need to speak to someone in charge," Lena said, her voice urgent. "It's important. We've discovered something that could change everything." The woman raised an eyebrow, clearly skeptical. "What kind of discovery?" "The kind that proves humans are not just a myth," Tom interjected, frustration creeping into his tone. "We found evidence of our ancient connections with other species." The woman looked taken aback, but before she could respond, Alex chimed in. "Please, we need to see the director. This is urgent." After a few moments of confusion, the young woman led them to a spacious office where a middle-aged man sat surrounded by books and artifacts. His eyes widened as he listened to their story. "Wait, you're telling me that humans were once powerful and connected to the galaxy?" he asked, skepticism still lingering in his tone. "Yes," Lena said, passion igniting her words. "We found ruins filled with carvings that tell our history. We need your help to share this with everyone. We can't let our legacy be forgotten." The director sat back, processing the information. "All right, I'll arrange a meeting with the council, but you'll need to present your findings clearly. This sounds extraordinary, but you'll have to convince them." Days passed, and the trio prepared tirelessly for their presentation. They worked late into the night, organizing their notes, creating visuals, and rehearsing their speech. With each passing moment, their anticipation grew. They knew they had a chance to change the narrative, and they wouldn't let it slip away. Finally, the day of the presentation arrived. They entered the council chamber, where representatives from various fields gathered, their faces a mix of curiosity and skepticism. As they took their places, Alex felt the weight of their mission heavy on his shoulders. He glanced at Lena and Tom, who nodded in encouragement. "Today, we reveal the truth," Alex began, his voice steady. "We are not just a legend. We are a species with a rich history, and it's time we remember who we are." With that, they launched into their presentation, sharing the ancient stories, the symbols, and the incredible technology they had encountered. The audience listened intently, their expressions shifting from disbelief to intrigue. As they concluded, Tom stood tall. "Together, we can rebuild what was lost. We can reach out to the stars again and show the universe that humanity is ready to reconnect." The room fell silent, and the council members exchanged glances, their minds racing with the possibilities. Alex, Lena, and Tom had opened the door to a new future, one filled with hope and connection. With their hearts pounding, they waited for the council's response, knowing they had just begun to reclaim their place in the cosmos. A new alliance. As the council chamber buzzed with discussions, Alex, Lena, and Tom felt a mix of anxiety and anticipation. They had shared their findings, but now it was time to see if their efforts would bear fruit. The council members were deep in conversation, some looking impressed, while others remained skeptical. "Ladies and gentlemen," the council leader finally called out, quieting the room. "We have heard an extraordinary story today. The idea that humanity once had ties to a broader galaxy is not something we can take lightly." The trio exchanged hopeful glances, their hearts racing. They had captured the council's attention. The leader continued, "We need to verify these claims. I propose we send a team to the site where these ruins are located. Only then can we decide how to proceed." Tom stepped forward, eager to respond. "We can take you there. We can show you everything we found. The technology, the history, it's all waiting to be discovered. The council members deliberated among themselves. Finally, the leader nodded. Very well. We will form an expedition team. If your story holds true, it could change everything we know about our species and our place in the universe. Relief washed over the trio. This was the moment they had hoped for. They would finally have the chance to prove humanity's worth. In the days that followed, preparations were made for the expedition. Scientists, historians, and explorers were selected to join Alex, Lena, and Tom on their journey back to the ruins of Zoreth. The excitement in the air was palpable, and the trio found themselves at the center of it all, guiding their new allies through the plans. As the day of departure approached, they gathered at the spaceport, ready to board their ship. The group was diverse, each member bringing their unique expertise. "Are we ready for this?" Lena asked, her eyes scanning the crowd. Alex nodded, feeling a sense of responsibility. "We've come this far. Now it's time to show everyone the truth." As the ship took off, the crew buzzed with excitement. The landscape of Earth faded away, and they soon found themselves soaring through the stars once more. The journey to the ruins of Zoreth felt shorter this time, the thrill of what lay ahead propelling them forward. As they descended toward the ancient site, the lush greenery and mysterious structures came into view. When they landed, the team emerged from the ship, awe written across their faces. The ancient ruins stood tall, their weathered stones telling stories of a time long forgotten. "Look at that," one scientist exclaimed, pointing to intricate carvings that adorned the walls. "This is incredible." With renewed energy, the team began exploring the site. Alex, Lena, and Tom led the way, showing their allies the most significant areas they had discovered. They guided them to the pedestal where they had activated the ancient technology, its energy still faintly pulsing. "This is where it all began," Tom explained, his voice filled with reverence. "We harnessed its power and learned the truth about our past." The scientists set to work, examining the pedestal and taking notes. Lena watched, her heart swelling with pride. They were not just reclaiming their legacy. They were also building a new alliance, one that could bridge the gap between humanity and the stars. As the day wore on, the group made groundbreaking discoveries. They deciphered more of the carvings, revealing tales of cooperation and unity between humans and other species. Each finding strengthened their resolve to prove that humanity was not just a legend, but a force for good. That evening, as the sun set over the ruins, they gathered around a campfire. The warmth of the flames mirrored the growing bond between them. "I can't believe how far we've come," Lena said, gazing at the stars above. "We're not just here to uncover the past. We're building a future." Alex nodded, his eyes shining with determination. "Together, we can rewrite history. We have a chance to show the galaxy who we are." Just as they shared stories and laughter, a low rumble echoed through the ground. The group fell silent, looking at each other with concern. "What was that?" one historian asked, unease creeping into their voice. Tom's eyes widened. "I think we might have triggered something." Suddenly, the pedestal began to glow brightly, illuminating the entire site. The ancient symbols shimmered, casting intricate shadows on the ground. The team stood in awe, feeling the energy pulsing around them. "Everyone, step back." Alex shouted, instinctively moving closer to the pedestal. Before they could react, a beam of light shot up from the pedestal, piercing the sky. The ground trembled beneath their feet, and a portal opened above them, swirling with colors and energy. "What is happening?" Lena exclaimed, fear and excitement mingling in her voice. "I don't know," Alex replied, determination etched on his face. "But we have to find out." With that, they prepared to step into the unknown. They had come to reclaim their legacy, and now it seemed the universe was calling them to a new adventure.